Hi everyone. Sometimes you may have difficulties to flash the mainboard part of the printer. It could be for various reasons like a bad USB cable or poor quality. It could be a problem with the flash memory on the printer itself. It's a cheap printer, so the parts are not of a very good quality. It could be that by mistake you erase the bootloader, and a lot of different reasons. All is not lost. It's still possible to flash, and I will show you how to do this with the Arduino Uno. But the first thing to do is to remove the mainboard from the printer. So let's do it. So this is the main board. Be very careful with static electricity. You can burn some part of the main board just by touching it. What we need next is an Arduino Uno. It could be an Arduino Uno, a Mega, or a clone like I have here. Of course, some USB cable and this kind of cable. If you don't have such cable, you can just use some wires between the two cards, but if you have it, it's better. The first thing we have to do is to program this Uno to become a programmer for the mainboard. Before starting programming the Arduino Uno, there's something I want to show you. I'm right clicking on the start menu and then select Device Manager. For the moment I have nothing on the COM port, and I will connect the Arduino Uno on a USB 3 port of my computer. And yeah, you may have something like that, USB device not recognized, and here you have unknown USB device. And if I now connect the same device on a USB 2 port, I don't have any problem. So beware of that. It's very dependent of your computer. If you are using a USB port, which kind of USB port, the drivers you have, etc. So if you have this kind of problem, try to connect to another port, a USB 2 port, and you can get a better result. I also using a clone of the Arduino Uno. It's not using the same chip for the USB controller, and I have less problems. I'm starting the Arduino IDE. I will not show you how to install Arduino IDE. It's explained in a lot of different places. What you need to load is a sketch which is called Arduino ISP. You can close the other window. I'm connecting the Arduino on the computer, and make sure that here you have Arduino Uno. Then you select the COM port, which is right. You can click on Get Board Info. It will retrieve some information from the board. So if you have something, it means that your computer is able to communicate with Arduino. And then we have to program this sketch onto the Arduino. So just click on upload. It's compiling, and you have some details. It's very quick because it's a very small program, and you have avrdude done. Thank you. And you can disconnect the Arduino Uno. What we have to do now is to connect the Arduino. I will continue to call this an Arduino, even if it's a clone. We have to connect the Arduino Uno to the printer mainboard, and we will use this connector. I will use this IDC cable with 6 pins, and you have to be careful to plug it correctly. The advantage of this kind of connector is that you have a red wire, so it's more simple to know exactly what you are connecting to what. So it has to be plugged this way. The pin 1 is here, and on the main board it has to be connected this way. You now have to download the firmware. In my case, I'm using this mainboard 5.1, and I have a BL Touch Smart version 3.1, so I'm downloading this exe file. I'm connecting the Arduino Uno. I'm not sure it's required, but I prefer to also connect a USB cable to the main board because it will provide power. Then I open a command line, and I already put the firmware file in this directory, and I will execute a command with avrdude, the same tool which is used by the Arduino IDE. I will copy paste the command since it's a little bit long, and I will explain it. So this is the path of avrdude. It needs a configuration, so it's this file, avrdude.conf. -v, it's just to have more information in the output. This is the kind of microcontroller we are programming at Mega2560. This is the kind of programmer. It's in fact the name of the protocol. Then the port of the Arduino, in my case it's COM6. And this is the speed of the communication. And then you have some kind of instruction. In this case, we write in the flash this file. I type enter, and we have some errors. I don't know exactly why. I tried this with different Arduinos. I tried also between Arduinos with an Arduino Mega, etc., and I always get the same result. Maybe it's my setup, maybe it's the Arduino ISP script which has some problem, but when the Arduino, when the programmer is trying to read anything, it always returns 0. 0 here. The device signature is also 0, and because of that it fails. We can still write the firmware onto the main board. What is not possible is to verify it, because to verify you need to read back what was written, and we see that we have some problems to read, but it's still possible to write the firmware. For this we need to specify -F. To disable the verification, it's not working if you specify it at the end of the command line, so I will put it here at the beginning, and we type enter again, and this time it's writing. And it's written successfully.
There are other ways to program the mainboard. For example, I'm using this kind of device. I just made I printed a case for it. It's called an ADVi3, and you can find also this directly from Atmel. I think that ADVi3 is also from Atmel. It's also a programmer. I prefer this one. That's all for today. In part 2 I will show you how to use this kind of programmers, and now I will reassemble my printer. Bye bye!